What's up, guys? This is Neil with the Card Guys coming at you with another video, and today we're going to be going over some of the red cards from set 13 featuring the King Vegeta leader. And before we start, just want to let you know, if you ever want to support the channel, in the description you're going to find our TCG player affiliate link, so whenever you buy cards, including anything you see in this video, it will really help out the channel. And with that said, let's start with King Vegeta. So it's going to be a King Vegeta BR, saying Vegeta's lineage, so whenever we see more Vegeta lineage stuff, this leader will work for that. Auto, when this card is placed in your leader area, activate up to 1 Young Invaders from your deck. We'll look at that in a bit. When this card attacks, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 mono red card, 1 red Saiyan with energy cost of 5 or less among them to your hand, shuffle, so just filter. Seems good. Awaken. When you or your opponent's life is at 4 or less, you may draw 1 card, switch one of your energy to active mode, and add cards from your life to your hand until you have 5 life or less. Then flip this card over. So this is really cool because this means that if you can be aggressive and you can awaken really quickly, or if your opponent is being aggressive towards you, then you can awaken as well. And on the backside, King Vegeta, head of the Saiyan Rebellion. Permanent, reduce the combo cost of all your red Saiyan cards with 500 power in your hand by 1. So that's that kind of the gimmick with this deck, is that it revolves around these 500 power battle cards. And we'll see those in a sec. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card. Auto, once per turn, when the power of one of your opponent's cards is decreased, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gains minus 10k power for the turn. So this is cool because you're just compounding minus power on top of minus power. So like, let's say you play a counter player Yamcha, that's minus 15 once, and then this will do another minus 10. So you can potentially kill a 25k, which is like almost anything like 5-drop or less, which is really cool. All right, and we got our unison for the deck. It's going to be a 1 specified 10k Black Mass Saiyan Brawler from another dimension. Auto, once per turn, when your opponent adds cards from their life to their hands or places a card from their life to the drop, add a marker to this card, and if it's your turn, plus 5k power for the turn. So this is cool because you can potentially gain markers on both sides of the turn. But if your opponent self-awakens, they gain a marker, and then if you deal them damage or you crit them, then you'll gain a marker. So that seems really good. Plus 0 when your opponent plays a battle card. If your opponent may choose that card and it gets minus 5k power for the turn. If they don't, add 2 markers to this card. That's just really solid. They're most likely gonna take the minus 5k. Otherwise, we're getting to this minus 4 really quickly. Activate main. This card gets plus 15k power and double strike for the turn. So that's 25k double strike. Really solid. I like it so far. All right, and here's gonna be the field spell that you can play for free just by playing King Vegeta. So Young Invaders. Field, if your leader is a King Vegeta BR, which it is, at the start of your opponent's turn, you may play up to 1 red Saiyan with 500 power from your deck to your opponent's battle area. Then shuffle your deck. If you've played a card, you can't play battle cards that aren't red Saiyan cards for the turn. So this is interesting because just once per turn, you usually gets a free 500 power to your opponent's side, but then you can't play like counterplay Yamchas, or you can't play anything like a rival that isn't a Saiyan. So that's kind of interesting. But again, I would assume you'd only want to use that effect like turn 1, maybe turn 2, and then use other effects in order to get the 500 power battle cards out. Activate main once per turn. Add 1 card from your life to your hand. Then play 1 red Saiyan with a 500 power from the deck in rest mode with its skills negated for the game. Then shuffle your deck. So like, this is just 1. Activate main. Pay 1 red. Once per turn, pay 1 red. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and it gains minus 5k power for the turn. This is cool because this is a built-in way to get rid of Black Mass Saiyan, because otherwise this deck basically doesn't function the way that it's you played. So we got a sudden escape. You get a one cost red. Counterattack, if your leader is red, negate the attack, play one red Saiyan card with energy cost of 1 and 500 power from your deck with its skills negated for the game, and then shuffle your deck. So you can counterattack and then play it on your side, or you can activate main if your leader is a red Saiyan only. Play one red Saiyan with energy cost of 1 and 500 power for your deck on your opponent's battle area, shuffle your deck, and draw one card. So either way, it seems really flexible. All right, and then next are going to be the 500 power battle cards. So we start with Son Goku, Hope of the Saiyans. So this is going to be a 0 cost combo 5k. Auto, when this card is played, switches to rest mode. So it's going to be in rest. Unless you choose to use an effect that negates the skills for the turn. And then it's a 5k combo. I would assume you probably want to play the Goku on your side, and the other two you want to play on your opponent's side. So let's look at the Vegeta. One drop Vegeta, Vegeta the Young Invader. So 1 cost combo 5k, so which makes it harder for your opponent to get rid of. Unique, when this card is played, if your life is at 5 or more and your opponent's leader card is a red King Vegeta BR, place 1 card from your life in your drop area and then draw 1 card. So this is one of the cards you would want to play on your opponent's side. And then once it's on your opponent's side, you're King Vegeta, so they're going to be able to crit a life and draw a card. Seems solid. Drawing a card is not solid, but the fact that you crit them, really, really good. And then auto once per turn, when one of your cards is attacked, choose that card and it gets minus 5k for the battle. So this makes it so that when you're attacking your opponent's cards, that'll trigger, give it minus 5k, and then you can use the minus 10k on your leader to try to kill something. Seems pretty good. And then we have Broly the Young Invader. 1 cost combo 5k unique. When this card is played, if your life is at 5 or more and your opponent's leader is a red King Vegeta BR, place 1 card in your life to the drop area and then draw 1 card. So same effect as the Vegeta. We're going to play this on your opponent's side and then they're going to crit a life. Auto, once per turn, when you play a battle card on your turn, choose 1 card in your hand, send it to the owner's warp, and then at the end of the turn, return that card sent to the warp by this skill to the owner's hand. So this just makes it so that every time they play a battle card, they're going to -1, which is really good, and then they're going to get it back at the end of turn. So it basically keeps your opponent on their toes on whether or not they want to play battle cards and loose cards. Either way, it just seems solid. All right, and so we got Goku. 3-drop SSG Son Goku to the next level. Blocker. Once per turn, at the end of your turn, or when this card activates blocker skill, switch it to active mode. Really solid 90k blocker that can untap. Always really good. Activate main. 1 red. You may choose one of your opponent's red Raditz BR or Goku BR cards with an original power of 500 and place it on the bottom of the owner's deck. If you do, play this card from your hand. So this would be a situation where you're playing the Goku or Raditz, which we haven't seen on their side, and then you're able to pay 1, play this. Seems really solid. And then we have a 5-drop Goku, 25k, SSB Son Goku at full power. Deflect. Yes. Dual attack. I like it already. Blocker. Oof, really good. EX Evolve for 3. Kind of heavy, but we'll see. Draw 1. Red Son Goku BR with energy cost of 3. So on top of this Goku, or potentially one of the other Son Goku BRs that we got from the Red Gogeta decks. Permanent. This card can't be played from any area with non-evolved skills. So you can't cheat this out in any way except for EX Evolve. Permanent. This card can attack your opponent's cards in active mode. Really solid. So that means if your opponent chooses not to attack, let's say they have the Vegeta out, then they're going to get that -5k. Auto once per turn, if your leader is a red Saiyan card, when this card KOs one of your opponent's battle cards with an original cost of 2 or more, or is removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, deal 1 damage to your opponent. So we're just burning, we're just turning and burning with this deck. Seems really solid. So you attack one of their dudes inactive, let's say in one of their 5Ks, right? Just deal damage. I like this. All right, and then we got the Vegetas. You got the 3-drop, 19k SSG Vegeta to the next level. Unique, critical. Yep. Auto, when this card is played, look it up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and add 1 red Saiyan with energy cost of 5 or less, or 1 Unison with a specified cost of 1 among them to your hand and shuffle your deck. Searcher, we're good. Activate main, 1 red. You may choose one of your opponent's red Raditz BR or Vegeta BR cards, which original power of 500, and place them at the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, play this card from your hand. So, same deal. Play with Vegeta on their turn, or on their side of the board. Pay 1. You're able to scoop that up. Play this Vegeta. And then from there, we're going to EX Evolve from the 3-drop into the 5-drop. So we got SSB Vegeta at full power. 25k, deflect, love deflect, double strike, EX Evolve for 3, still kind of expensive, draw 1 on top of a Vegeta BR, energy cost of 3. This card can't be played at any area with non-evolve skills, so again, we can't cheat this out really. Auto, if this card is in rest mode, when one of your opponent's battle cards is played or attacked, you may choose that card and it gets minus 10k power for the turn. So I mean, we're swinging this guy with double strike, so as long as they're swinging, when your opponent, when they attack or played, we're just minusing stuff, and then our leader gets to minus stuff. It just all seems really solid. When this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, place 1 card from your opponent's life into the drop area. So again, if they get rid of this card in any way, then we're just gonna burn them. All right, and then we got Broly's. We got a 3-drop Broly, SS Broly, Unchained Might, Barrier. We like Barrier. Auto, if you have 2 or more energy and all of your opponent's energy is in rest mode, when this card is played, your opponent reveals their hand. Okay. You choose up to 1 battle card with 15 power or less and send it to the owner's warp. At the end of your opponent's next turn, return the card sent to the warp by the skill to the owner's hand. So we're just going to time walk a card. Just being able to look at your opponent's hand, that's always super strong. Activate main, 1 red. You may choose one of your opponent's red Raditz BR or Broly BR with original power of 5. Place at the bottom. If you do, play this card from your hand. So this is the 3rd one that's mentioning a Raditz. So I can only assume, since we haven't seen the Raditz BR card, it's going to be a promo, a TP promo. Since the Raditz can be in the place of anyone, it's probably going to be like really flexible despite whatever the skill is going to be. 5-drop SS Broly, Brawn Amplified. 5-drop 30k, deflect Barrier. Okay. I don't think this combination should ever be on a card, especially if it's a 30k. But it's here. So even though the EX Evolve is 3, this one's probably more warranted than the other 2. But either way, EX Evolve for 3 red, draw a card to have a red Broly BR with an energy cost of 3. You could technically play this in the Broly deck. Just outright. Permanent, if this card can't be played by any other skill with non-evolved skills, still can't cheat this out. You have to pay 3 to get him out. Auto, once per turn. If this card is in rest mode, when your opponent attacks a leader, they reveal their hands. Again, we're looking at their hands. Busted. Choose 1 card from it and send it to the owner's warp. At the end of the turn, return the card sent to the warp by this skill to the owner's hand. This card is dumb. Hand knowledge is so good in this game. So good in any game. The fact that you just get to do it once per turn. When they attack you, you're just taxing them. And he has deflect and barrier, so this guy's sticking, and he's a 30k. And you could potentially just play this in red Broly if you want. this is just, it's interesting because like the EX Evolve, all these cards technically cost 4, but they're all really, really good. So, I mean, we'll see how this deck goes. All right, we have some extra cards. King Vegeta, Hidden Ambitions, Counter Counter. If your leader card and energy and are all mono red and your opponent has 3 or more energy, negates the counter skill of an extra card with the original energy cost of 1 that was activated without paying its energy cost, and play this card. This card is specifically meant to stop Mecha Frieza do its things, which is really, really funny. This is the first counter that negates an extra card. That in itself is really, really good. Like I said, it makes it so that Mecha Frieza can't do its thing. It stops Dormant Potential Unleashed, which is really busted if they decide to play for free. You can use this to negate D Magic, if any of the Sparking negates. This is just dumb. Activate main, 1 red. If your leader is a red Saiyan and you place this card in its owner's drop area, play 1 mono red Vegeta's Lineage card with energy cost of 3 and 10k power less from your deck, and then shuffle your deck. I think this is the 10k Vegeta that was in the EB one. And then we have King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Counter attack. If your leader is a mono red Saiyan card, you may choose the attacking card ignoring barrier. It gets minus 10k power. So leader effect, that's minus 20k power. And this is ignoring barrier. Your opponent can't attack with cards for the turn unless they give the attacking card minus 5k power each time. You can't activate copies of this card from your hand for the turn. So it's just a floodgate. Well, not just a floodgate. It's a pretty decent floodgate, because I mean they're just gonna be attacking with minus 5k power less. So it just seems solid. Permanent. If your life is at 3 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying energy by choosing 1 card in your hand and discarding it. Solid. It's funny because this negate can be countered by this counter. That's just funny. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the King Vegeta stuff. Depending on how you build it, it could either be like a pretty sweet like aggro deck, or not aggro deck. I guess this is pretty much all control, where you're just like playing cards to try to negate your opponents from playing battle cards, taxing them for playing or taxing them for attacking, and burning them. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but it seems pretty solid so far. And that's gonna be it for King Vegeta. Once again, if there's anything in this video that you're interested in, you want to go down and use our affiliate link for TCG Player, it'll help us out a lot. Other than that, we'll see you guys in the next video.